Israel has continued its airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, and we're seeing something different from the Israeli military. In previous rounds of fighting against Hamas, they had largely done pinpoint strikes where they target individual high-rises or other buildings where they suspected Hamas militants were inside. This time around, though, we're seeing city blocks destroyed in this bombing. Now, analysts describe this as a way for the Israeli military to potentially soften up the area before they go in on this widely anticipated ground offensive. They've already called up some 300,000 troops to be part of this. But at the same time, this also raises the risk for the civilians that are trapped inside of Gaza between the Hamas militants and the potentially advancing Israeli army. Meanwhile, we've had international aid groups, the United Nations, the International Committee of the Red Cross, as well as the World Health Organization, ask for a humanitarian corridor to be opened up into the Gaza Strip so they can bring in needed supplies such as medicine, bandages, and the rest. The Red Cross says that a lot of the injuries they're seeing from people in Gaza are either from blast injuries, from airstrikes, or from rounds of ammunition being fired. Meanwhile, the Red Cross says they're also trying to reach out to both the Israeli and the Hamas side to discuss those who are held either prisoner or as hostage. Now, on the Hamas side, we know that they've taken over 100 Israelis in the attack that started on Saturday. Hamas had made the threat to potentially execute these hostages over the Israeli airstrikes. Hamas has not carried that out, and it may have been, as analysts say, a way for them to try to stop the punishing airstrikes as they've seen so far. Meanwhile, the Red Cross says they're also trying to reach out to the Israeli side to find out if there's any Hamas militants that they've taken prisoner. The Red Cross, however, says that those negotiations are ongoing and they have not had any luck to talk to any of those hostages or those captives. I'm John Gambrell for the Associated Press for CGTN in Jerusalem.